there's people on the internet who don't like us. Do you consider them enemies?
Yes.
You do?
No, I'm just kidding.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to school. But don't worry, everything is cool. I'm your host, Julyssa, and of course, I am here with the boys, Steve and Brennan. Say what's up, you guys.
What's up?
And how y'all doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. And you guys wonder why?
Why?
Because it's Latino Heritage Month, guys. For this week's episode, I'm going to be Mexican today. Okay? Letting everybody know right now. What about you guys? How are you guys doing?
Can I be Mexican?
It's kind of an exclusive club.
Feeling
Wow.
extra Latino today. This month.
His Latino side is coming out today? Or this month?
I think it's, I don't know. No, maybe I shut up.
No, not at all.
No, I was gonna say. I think it's kind of fun. I didn't know that they could do months where it's like
Half months?
Where it's not the calendar month. It's the
Mhm.
month, like a period of time.
Like 30 days, right? Yeah, I know, right?
Are
And
we the only ones who have that?
no, I think it doesn't a Black Heritage Month also have the same
I
thing?
thought
No,
they
it's
were all
just-
February.
It's
No?
all February. But they're always like, they got the shortest month of the year.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I guess they always do some
And
bullshit
then-
technicality.
I think Pride Month is June,
Yeah, June.
and then but all the like racist people, I mean the homophobic people are like, it's actually Men's Mental Health Month.
Oh, yeah. Basically, right.
Yeah.
They basically do like, what do they call them?
And
Hunger
then
strikes?
Then they never talk about men's mental health ever. Again.
Yeah, no bullshit. Wasn't that last month? That was last month, right?
June.
Oh, was it June?
Yeah.
I thought no, I'm not specifically Pride Month. I was thinking of Mental Health Awareness Month. I thought for some reason it was last month. Maybe I'm tripping.
I just know maybe it's
two?
mental health altogether, and then there's
Mental Health Awareness.
No,
and then,
last month I think was Suicide Prevention Month.
oh, I see.
And
Okay.
And then I think there's Men's Mental Health
is, I'm
Month
pretty
or
sure.
week,
Oh.
and then there's regular. I guess
There's Pride.
everybody mental
No, but
health.
there's complaining that
know.
it's on the same.
I don't know. Don't quote
Pride
me.
Month.
But doesn't Pride Month go hand in hand with the mental health? Because it's like there's so much homophobia in the world that like you need. Like it's literally the perfect example.
I mean, I think it's like you're explaining it to the wrong people. You know?
True.
Yeah.
But I'm like, maybe there's someone out there who's homophobic, but there's some of the few people who can be saved. There's some of the people who like can be like convinced, you know?
Maybe I
They're
hope
out
they're
there.
not in our audience. Huh?
You never know, maybe they are.
You think there's homophobic people in our audience?
I think
I really hope not, man.
well,
really
I
hope not.
think I like to believe that maybe there's somebody who was raised maybe conservative and maybe is, growing up and getting educated and gaining a lot more empathy and is like, let me tune into these guys. These guys seem to be very friendly and very like about being embracing of people who are gay or
I really don't think conservative homophobes look at us and they're like, that's my podcast. That's
You
what
never
I should
know.
listen to.
if you're
Maybe.
homophobic, comment down below,
Bruh.
please. But somebody who's not gonna be homophobic after you watch this episode, right?
Who's gonna change?
Somebody who's gonna change, who wants to change.
We're changing their minds.
Probably
Exactly.
some 5-year-old who doesn't know what that means.
But happy Latino Heritage Month, guys. It's a joy to sort of celebrate our culture. I think it's really cool seeing it was also Mexican Independence Day on
When is it?
Tuesday? Tuesday.
Yeah,
On Tuesday, right?
2 days ago, yeah.
But El Grito was on Monday night, right?
Yeah, because it's at midnight.
First ever grito done by a woman. Right?
Really?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Oh shit.
I actually I was watching it because I could hear my parents from their room.
Saying that's literally why I tuned
And then I
into.
started watching it. And I
Same.
was like, oh, yeah. Because I completely forgot the time difference.
Yeah, me too.
Because here it happened at 10 p.m.
Mhm.
and when it hit midnight over there. And then I completely forgot about it. I had just gotten home from work too. And I was sitting in my room. And then I just hear them being like, Viva. And then I was like, wait, it's happening right now.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I tuned in is when she said the Vive las mujeres indígenas.
And you were like,
And then I was like, wow. I was like, what? And then I was like, because I was curious if they say their own stuff or if it's all scripted of they all say the same thing.
oh, like every year?
Every year, but they all say different things.
Mm.
Because the president before her was more saying towards like we should end racism and violence and all that stuff.
Mm.
And she was more saying like, oh, like, yeah, like, vive las mujeres indígenas, like, vive la libertad and all that stuff. So
I was watching on YouTube and it was funny because there were all the comments on the right were saying like "Viva" whatever, like they would be like "Viva," like "Viva las madres," like "Viva los hombres." Somebody was like "Viva the foreskin." Somebody was like putting that. It was like "Viva Fortnite." Those are real comments that people were putting, but it was kind of wholesome because I thought it was cool that everybody was just putting all their own stuff. Viva Fortnite was the one that I remember, and Viva Foreskin was pretty cool. I was like, you know what?
Foreskin?
Yeah, foreskin.
Oh.
I guess because a lot of Mexicans aren't circumcised, so I'm like real. What are you looking into?
Oh, how many cultural awareness months there are?
Oh, how many other?
According to Google, it says 9, which doesn't sound like right.
What are the 9?
It says, let's see, I'll read them.
Well, because I know what.
Black History Month,
uh-huh.
Women's History Month, Asian American, Pacific
Oh,
Islander,
right.
Jewish American Heritage Month, Caribbean American, Hispanic Heritage, National Disability Employment Awareness Month, and Native American Heritage Month.
Oh, right.
But then it says, like, you know how Google does that thing where it gives you an answer, but then it gives you, like, another one that, like, kind of contradicts the other one?
Yeah.
Because then it says there's Arab American, LGBTQ Pride Month, Filipino American History, German American Heritage, why do they get a month? Italian American Heritage, and Polish American.
Why did they get a month? Maybe
Germans, though? Like, what?
Like historically, that doesn't seem like that would be something we celebrate, right?
I guess I thought the whole cultural awareness months were about, like, giving the spotlight to the people who aren't.
True.
Who don't typically get the spotlight.
Oh, true.
German.
Yeah.
Like a European,
That's
like
fucking everybody month, you know?
that's
I
like
don't know.
every month. True. But since it was missing Independence Day, we should do our very own grito. So I'm gonna need at least one thing, a viva from each one of you. You guys don't have to scream it, but you have to give like a viva. So like you were like viva las mujeres indígenas or viva las madres. What would you say is your viva? Viva. Or Julie, if you want to go first.
The one that first popped up was the Viva la Resistencia.
Ooh, okay.
Cool.
Okay. Wow, okay, Julie. That's actually gonna be hard to beat. Let me see. I'll go second. What do I love? What do I like? Viva la comida. I love a good food. I love some good food. I think food has brought me so much comfort in recent months, as maybe some of you can see. What about you, Brandon?
Viva Palestine.
Oh, okay. I did see some of those comments too on the stream.
Hell yeah.
I was like, they had a family, right?
They had a residente there, I think, as a performer.
That's cool.
And then he brought in like a family
from Palestine.
That's
cool.
And then
they were like crying,
everybody,
right?
yeah, because then they were like saying stuff on the mic, and then everybody in the crowd was like free Palestine.
Isn't that crazy? America, not even America. United States would never. Imagine for the July that they brought in a Palestine family.
They would never do that shit.
To televise to the world.
Yeah.
They only do it with white people. Remember they did that with the South Africans?
Oh yeah, they were escaping white genocide apparently.
Yeah.
Come on now.
But yeah, that was cool. I mean, at least to see, like, for sure, it did feel a little empowering. I mean, you know, it's still a government, but it was a little empowering to see a woman kind of do the grito this year.
First time in what, 215 years? Is that what it was?
I don't know.
Let me see it. Let me look into it. But yeah, you keep talking, Julie. You were saying.
But yeah, it was cool. And then the Residente thing of when he brought it out, like the Palestinian family, I think that was cool, because I think it's always been around of like the whole especially right now with all like the raids happening, and then there was all the protests that were happening for like Gaza. It was really nice to see that, and it's also just very like touching in a way of like even our flags are slightly similar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. The color scheme.
Yeah, the color scheme is very similar. And it's nice to just see, and very empowering to see the communities kind of come together and supporting each other. Because I have seen like posters where they put both, specifically more in like the Mexican flag and, you know, the Palestinian flag. And I think that's just really cool to see like the unity in that.
Yeah, I was actually really shocked that they brought that family out, not in a negative way, but just in the fact that I guess I sometimes group the United States and Mexico in terms of like international interest. So I was really intrigued that they brought on the Palestinian family to like the ceremony of Independence Day. And it makes you think that there is definitely like a deeper.
I don't think you know, I get what you mean, but I don't think they actually ever are like similar in interest.
No,
At least I think on big issues.
I
Big
guess
things,
yeah. I think I don't think that's right, but that's just what my mind tends to do.
That's why
you know what I mean?
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
But I guess on a related note, did you see the UN Commission at the United Nations finally said or found that what Israel's doing is a genocide?
Oh yeah,
Finally.
I think they voted on a two-state.
There's a commission.
Yeah, right. On something like
it's
that.
a lot of jargon that I'm not gonna pretend to understand. But I mean, I think I hope that's a net positive.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think so. I think I think it's a net positive in the sense that not only does the world, but now even officials are starting to agree on the like heinous and villainy of like Netanyahu running, specifically Netanyahu and the way he's running. Because I think you and me were talking about it a little bit like off camera a couple of days ago, where I think it's interesting that like people think because you're anti-Zionist, you are anti-Semitic, which is weird. We've been reiterating that rhetoric since the beginning, but now it really does feel really like normalized for people to just be anti-Semitic when it's really like it's more of what the country in and of itself is treating and committing a genocide. That is what the problem is. It's not the people in and of itself.
People call that out all the time, where it's like that's what's an unfortunate abuse of like something that's real. Like anti-Semitism is real and it is a problem.
Yeah.
But I think it's an unfortunate abuse to claim that if you're saying what's happening in Palestine is a genocide, you're being anti-Semitic, or that being anti-Zionist is the exact same thing as being anti-Semitic when it's not. You know?
Yeah,
So
no, 100%.
Difficult part, and I guess going back to the UN too, like I said, net positive. But damn, it's got to be so defeating, man, to like kind of have to sit around and like have people debate whether or not what's happening to you. You know, when everybody's
like
been saying that.
Yeah. Whether or not people deserve to get blown up.
Yeah.
No, I get you. It should be self-explanatory that that's wrong.
Yeah.
Were you gonna say something?
No, I was just gonna say the last thing was
No.
It's just insane. It's
Yeah.
like an insane thing of people not understanding how what's happening is so horrific.
Yeah, I agree. I also think I wanted to touch on earlier. I guess right. It has been first time in 215 years that a woman led the celebrations for Mexican Independence Day. So really cool. Really cool.
215.
250 years, which marks 215 years since the beginning of Mexico's fight for independence.
So when would that be? Like 1830, something like that.
1810. 1810. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I also think it's important to address this. Every Mexican Independence Day, another tradition always occurs. Maybe not every, but most of the time it occurs. One man rises from the crowd and fights somebody. His name is Canelo Alvarez. And this past week, he lost. And I can't process it. I thought it was interesting because I went on my Instagram story. Even my mom was talking about it. And on everybody's story that I knew was Mexican. It was so interesting to see that like all of them were like, he's washed, he should just retire. Like I can't believe he lost. Like damn, he doesn't have it anymore. Damn, Canelo's finally old. And I can't help but think of the Green Goblin speech in Spider-Man. But the one thing that they would like to see a hero do more than anything is fall. What is it? Fall, fail, die trying.
Yeah.
I just couldn't help it.
That's funny. That's funny. That's funny because like on my side of everything, people were still like, I still love you, Canelo.
Oh yeah,
Like, I didn't see anybody be like, he's washed.
I saw a
retired.
bunch of people.
I saw a
That's
lot of people
crazy.
be like, I still stand with him and I support him and I still love him.
That's good then. That's good. Well, Brandon, what did you think? Were you like, damn?
I kind of saw it coming.
Yeah.
honestly, a little bit. I like Canelo a lot, but he typically has a lot of problems with traditional boxers.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's kind of what Floyd took him apart with, and Bivol kind of did the same thing. Yeah.
This is the first time that I actually watched them fight.
Canelo? It's pretty accessible. It was on Netflix.
Yeah. But that's why that was the first time I was able to actually watch him, because usually for the most part it'll crash or something, or we'll be watching from my neighbor's like TV.
I also think though that Crawford deserves his flowers, because that's hard to do.
For
what he
sure.
did.
Yeah.
I
He's
think-
older too.
Well, he's older and he moved up 2 weight classes. Moving up
Mm.
weight classes is hard. Because I mean, Canelo, he was basically fighting Canelo in his environment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like he's comfortable at that weight, and there was no rehydration clause or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I think what he did was pretty astounding.
Yeah. And I mean, Canelo was also like the fan favorite. So he
Yeah,
was like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he always is.
so he was fighting a lot other than like, that. But I
Yeah.
think just also mentally, I feel like that's
Yeah.
that's a challenge,
I thought it was interesting that when the fight ended, it was pretty obvious to everybody watching that he had lost before they even made the announcement.
Right.
And I thought it was interesting when they had the camera pointing at both of them, ref in the middle, holding their arms, waiting for the announcement of the speech. I thought it was interesting that right when they announced Crawford had won, the camera zoomed in on Crawford, but like on the corner, if you were looking at Canelo, which I'm sure I did and a lot of people did, you could see that he instantly started like kind of crying. And then when they interviewed him, post that, he had put on a hat now to cover his like eyes, and he put it really low to like cover the fact that he had obviously been crying. And I don't know, I had a lot of empathy for him, especially because I know it probably sounds so dumb, like it's not that deep, but especially I think at a time right now where I think a lot of Mexican American kids and people kind of look to him as something to be inspired by. And I don't think that changes whether or not he loses. I think it was something that was super important for a lot of people, and I think he could feel that. I think he truly felt that because he's been so engrossed in like Mexican American, like I guess you could say struggles. He's been he's spoken on it on like interviews and stuff. So I think it was interesting to see that he was like overcome with the emotion of like that he had lost, you know? And so I guess in a weird way I bring it up to also be like, even though he lost, I still want to give him his flowers and give him that little shout out that he gave his fight, because damn, they asked him at the end if he was going to retire, and he was basically like, it's something I'll think about, you know? And I'm like, damn. I was like, poor guy. Even my mom was talking about it. She's like, people are human. You can't win them all. She was like, my mom was like, poor Canelo. On Mexican Independence Day. And it was funny because speaking, I guess, on more of Latino Heritage Month, me and Julie went to one of the events that Los Angeles was throwing in like downtown. And they had like a luchador match there. Like they had brought out a ring and everything. And then they brought out these 2 rival characters. So it was this tag team. It was these 2 luchadors versus these 2 Americans. They were both wearing like American flags as like the attire. Both super tall. One of them was blonde, blue-eyed. They were like clearly the bad guys. They were like taunting the audience. They were saying telling people like to shut up. They were chanting USA. And they won, bro.
They won.
They beat the luchadors.
Yeah.
It was for the title too. And I remember Julie was like, damn, we can't have shit today or what?
Damn.
That was all in the same day.
I think maybe they're building like so that they really lose, you know?
I guess so. They're gonna save it for 1 year, like in WrestleMania.
Yeah,
like
maybe.
next Independence Day, they're gonna have them
Yeah.
win finally. I couldn't believe they did that. Like they almost shouldn't be allowed to
I
do
know. I was like, why couldn't y'all just do it for not the titles? Because I get it if
Yeah,
it's
if it's
like an
for the title,
official
yeah.
Or
like
have it
thing
be a
or whatever.
non. What do they call it when
unsanctioned? Unsanctioned?
No. When they do something that basically like
It's kind of like a
Oh,
schmuck.
like
No.
like a tie, like a
No,
draw.
it's called something where basically one of them
They
breaks the
quit.
rules to where they're disqualified and the like, but
dirty,
they keep
dusty
going.
finish.
but they like keep going though.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Oh, and they
Where
and
it's
then
like technically the Americans won and keep the title, but they lost. You get what I mean?
I think it's called the dusty finish.
there's like a name for that where it's like you want to keep the belt on the guy.
yeah.
But you don't want him to win.
You want to put over the guy.
Yeah.
Getting too technical in wrestling,
He's
but
disqualified.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
I just
because I remember there's a term for it. That
is
they
it not
call-
dusty finish?
You might be right.
But I just thought it was funny that like damn, like they can't believe they really made these Americans. Like,
Win.
do I need to make a video on it and make it go viral? Like that's crazy. Like,
The Americans won.
bro, they came out like they were playing the like American music. I forgot what their theme song was, but they were playing like a USA type of like USA chant.
Like
They
Bruce
came out,
Springsteen?
yeah. One of them had like the flag, the American flag, and they were like chanting into the
And they were
crowd.
luchadors.
What was it? No, they weren't luchadors. They were wearing no mask or nothing.
They were like wrestlers.
Yeah, they were like
wrestlers.
in singlets, and the singlets were the American flag, the United States flag, and they were going up against these luchadors that were on full mask, like and stuff, and they beat the shit out of them and won.
Oh, it was a squash match.
It almost felt like it. It felt
Like
like they were basically getting the shit beat out of them the whole time, and then they lose. Am I wrong?
I wasn't there.
Am I wrong to be angry about that? They shouldn't have done that.
I don't get why they didn't. The only thing that I can think of is because they had the titles.
Yeah, for sure.
That they were like, oh, they can't lose them because
Then get somebody
their
else.
official titles. But then that's what I was like. But then why make it a title match?
Yeah, why put the title on the line?
Conspiracy. It's because at Los Angeles City is like, whoa, you guys can celebrate Mexican Independence Day, but America always wins over.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like America has to go over.
Maybe.
I was just shocked, and then Canelo lost, and I was like, damn. So can't have shit today, I guess.
They gotta put the belt on Rey Mysterio now.
Yeah, basically. But I guess just moving on. Just final says, just happy Latino Heritage Month. I hope everybody out there
Yeah.
is enjoying it and being safe, and still, even despite everything, still celebration and still enjoying who you are.
Like there's another thing. It's not completely unrelated because we talked about Palestine a little earlier,
Mhm.
but I've been seeing it get a lot more popular recently. That really like annoys me is when people will try to what's the word, like, I mean, I guess I don't know what word it, like, talk shit or devalue like Palestinians by using like the gay community against them. You never seen
do you
that?
Yeah, you mean
Or
like
they'll be like, you support Palestine, but like if you were gay and in Palestine, you know what they do to you or something like that.
and
I really hate that. I've seen a lot of it.
Wait, how do they use it? What do you mean?
They'll say like, if let's say like a community, like let's say like how we're saying free Palestine, somebody would come and say like, oh, but do you know how they treat gay people in Palestine? And they said, so stop supporting them because they're not good people.
Oh, okay.
So they'll use like the gay
Mhm.
community or like stuff like that as like or trans people or whatever it is in that community.
Mhm.
I think that's I don't know. I don't know.
That's weird.
I think it's weird, and I've seen it happen a lot recently.
I don't fully know like culturally what like Palestine has, I guess, in terms of its relationship with the LGBT, but I think that doesn't matter. Like I honestly think it doesn't matter. I know it sounds crazy to say, but I don't think it matters. I don't think you need I think you used to have empathy for people even if they don't necessarily agree with you or necessarily.
But I think even so, I think it's strange that they paint this fantasy of like of I don't know, something happening to LGBTQ community. Because first to me, it's like, okay, so then you saying that means then you do care about the LGBTQ community, right?
All of a sudden,
all of a sudden, right? But then it's like, but no, you don't. You're trying to use them as this like gotcha, or as this like
to be like, oh, they're not good people,
or as this like leverage to kind of try and dissuade people from speaking out against the genocide. But even like what you were saying, I'm like, what are the children that they're starving to death have to do with that?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there's children. I mean, I was seeing this case about how there's this child who's starving to death, and he has his mother, but his mother's so malnourished she can't make milk for him anymore. Like, what does that have to do with the LGBTQ community? I just think that's so like, I don't know, scummy.
Yeah.
Like so, like that's such a scumbag thing to say.
Yeah, because
To kind
Go
of
ahead, Julie.
like
No, I just mean like it just sounds so evil. Like
yeah.
to kind of just pinpoint these things and be
Yeah.
like, oh no, they don't deserve to live because like they're this type of people.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. That's just so like disappointing to hear that
Yeah.
people are
Yeah.
kind of trying to justify that, kind of justify their deaths, like, or the things that is happening to them to sort of be like, oh no, but like, they're not good people. Like, do you not see what they do to the community? But it's like, but do you honestly care about the community, or are you just saying that just to be
Yeah.
like, oh, what's happening is okay?
Yeah. Well, I think for me, it's also like to go out of your way to say that to get people to stop supporting or
Yeah.
try and do your best part to stop supporting. I think it's so strange.
Mm-hmm.
And I also, again, I think it's equally strange to say that, and then, but then removed of that scenario, you don't care about the LGBTQ community. Because, I mean, you can sit here and try to, like, pinpoint it and, like, create this fantasy of oppression or, like, be Islamophobic and say all these things about the Middle East, about how they treat the LGBT community. But it also happens in America. Like, and it's real. And you can look in the news, it happens all the time.
Mhm.
You don't say anything then. So, like, why, in relation to, like, a genocide, do you feel the courage to suddenly, like, start talking about that kind of thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the baseline, either way, you're still trying to justify and dehumanize people. You're trying to justify genocide and trying to dehumanize people, saying they basically deserve it.
Yeah.
You know? And it kind of is counterintuitive, too, because I can imagine also that is also repeated by just Zionists. And Zionists aren't necessarily conservatives themselves.
Yeah.
Like, some of them would consider themselves to be left-leaning.
Yeah.
And I think that even then, it's just terrible. Like, just people trying to defend genocide.
Yeah.
Like, trying to justify genocide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
exactly.
But if it is somebody who is conservative, it's even more ironic because it's like, so you're saying being homophobic is bad.
Yeah.
So you're agreeing that people who are gay should be given more empathy,
Yeah.
right? Like, you know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
counterintuitive to your point. It's just you trying to make this point that doesn't have any legs to stand on because you don't actually believe that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. But I don't know. I guess.
But I have heard it.
Yeah. I've seen it a
I've seen
lot.
it. I've seen it.
it a
I
lot.
have not seen that.
I've
You
seen it.
haven't?
No.
I guess it's good that you haven't seen it because I think it's
yeah.
yeah.
Because that's why I was like confused at first, because I was like, wait, what are you trying to say?
Mhm.
I've seen
And
it
then
all
I was
the
like,
time.
oh. 'Cause
Mhm.
He's right though. I've seen people who are like Zionists will say it, or usually one of the
Yeah.
two, Zionists or conservatives say
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah,
it's
I think even Netanyahu said something like that. Because I think
Yeah.
he said he went like on maybe it was on the Nelk Boys podcast and I heard him saying it as I was like clipping it just to use the background. But I think he did say something along that lines because I think he said like all these people who all these women that support I think it literally is from that podcast that he did with the Nelk Boys. I think he said something about how women support Palestine, but in Palestine, and I don't know, some propaganda bullshit that probably isn't even true. He said,
that they like are disrespectful to women.
stuff like that.
Like again
Yeah.
too. I think that's so ironic. And
That's just so weird because I'm like, I think to that same point, how you were saying like, oh, it's usually like somebody who's conservative. Conservatives don't give a fuck about the LGBTQ community. So why all of a sudden do you care?
Mhm.
And then also towards women, right? They keep wanting to take women's rights away and all these things. All of a sudden you care about women's rights. Like,
I think
Huh?
to me it's just confusing. I mean it's even like a twisted irony coming from fucking Netanyahu, considering like he's buddy with Trump, who fucking hates the LGBTQ community and has done so much to set them back. And,
yeah.
and rewrite laws that deny them basic health care. Like look who's fucking talking. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that's why.
100%.
That's why it's like,
Yeah.
huh?
Because it was either women that he said about or the LGBTQ plus community that he said it about. Because I remember he stole the mantra that kind of Latino for Trump, like people, not Latino for Trump, people who are against Latinos for Trump use, where it's like Latinos for Trump is like chickens for KFC. He says that. He says women or gay people for Palestine is like chickens for KFC. He says that in the Nelk Boys podcast.
I guess
I
to
think
me
so.
too. But like for me, I'm always like, well, what are the children or the innocent civilians have to do with that?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like,
I remember seeing like when they showed the pages of the babies, and it's like 3 pages of all just
infants,
less than one, like
less than a year old.
less than a year old.
Yeah,
And
right.
it's like, They didn't even know anything.
Yeah.
I'm also like, to an extent, if you live in a society and a state where you're constantly being bombarded by literal explosions, I think it's kind of hard to just assume that all these people are homophobic. You know, I just
Yeah.
feel like the access to education and just kind of like people, like perspective, is skewed. So to say like that these people are all inherently homophobic, or if that's like a cultural thing, I'm like, but you've actively destroyed their culture. What culture are you trying to pin on them now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but he's actively destroying their society and
Yeah.
destroying their cities, state. It's like, how can you then be like, but in their culture they're homophobic? What culture? You're decimating their cities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just think like to assume that they're homophobic is like, I don't know, based off what evidence? Based off like, like I said, I don't really know it culturally, so I don't know if there is maybe some truth to it, but I just don't know if that stands, because even then, like living in a society where you're basically living in this dystopia,
Yeah.
of where everything's being destroyed and you're constantly worried about staying alive. I really doubt that like one of the first primary ideas in them is to be homophobic. I feel
Yeah.
like the more important thing is to just think about being alive, staying alive, taking care of your children. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm just like that argument has no legs to stand on because they're trying to survive a genocide right
Yeah,
now.
I mean, even then, it's like even the context that he's bringing it up.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying, "Oh, they're homophobic, therefore I can wipe them off the planet."
Yeah.
What? Like, we're like,
Yeah,
know,
true.
I think the context that that's why I think when people repeat that or are constantly so boldly saying that, I find it really disgusting,
Yeah.
gross, and scumbaggy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to try and like justify that genocide or remotely imply that they deserve it, or shame people or try and dissuade people from showing support to the Palestinian community.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
that's
Disgusting.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's good that you brought it up too, because I do see that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess moving on to a different topic. I'm sure this is on everybody's radar. If it's not, that makes sense too. But just recently, there's this artist. His name's David. Have you guys ever heard about this guy?
I've never heard of him.
I've heard his songs on
I've
TikTok,
heard his songs on TikTok. Yeah.
but I never had a face to the songs, or
Yeah,
a name
same.
to them.
No,
until
or
right now.
name. Yeah.
Until right now.
Yeah. But this, were you gonna say something?
No, maybe I've heard his songs. I just don't know who
He
is.
did that famous song. I only know this clip. In the back of my mind, you died, and I didn't even cry. Have you heard this song?
No.
Or
He did
I don't care how long it
Okay, maybe that one.
takes.
He did.
As long as I have
Didn't he do an Invincible song?
I got a smile on my
Did he?
face. I think so.
He did a song for Invincible. I think.
He also did a song for apparently the next Spider-Verse movie, and I think he also has a collab with Fortnite.
He does.
Yeah, he has a collab with Fortnite.
Damn.
So he's like I'm saying was, 'cause I don't know where his career is gonna go from here, but I know I'm stalling a lot for the context. But basically, a couple of weeks ago, some people who were in an impound, what do you call it? Like an impound car place?
Like a car lot, basically.
Like a car lot. People were walking by this impounded Tesla that apparently had this really funky smell, really strong, disgusting smell. And it didn't take long for the people who owned the lot to call the police to investigate. And once the police investigated, they ended up finding the body of a missing person. At the time, they didn't know who it was. As of yesterday, from this recording, it was confirmed to be a 15-year-old girl named Celeste, right? And they also found out that the car belongs to David, the guy who's currently on tour right now, has songs on TikTok. His most popular song, I looked into it yesterday, has 1 billion plays. So, very popular musician, I guess you could say. Not extremely popular, not on the Taylor Swift level, obviously.
Well, I think what kind of started it all too was she'd been missing for like a year.
Yeah,
Um,
she disappeared in April 2024.
Yeah, and the Tesla was registered to him originally.
Mhm.
But then I think some time had passed between that and the new stuff where they identify, because I think at first they had just said they'd found the remains of somebody.
Yeah.
And then I think like you said, not that long ago from this recording, they identified the body or the person, and they found pictures of this person with David. And they apparently had matching tattoos.
Yeah.
Alleged. I mean,
Alleged, but I mean, there's photos
yeah,
on the
there's
internet that
photos that's
show.
alleged. Still though, she's also 14 at the
Yeah,
time of those photos, and he was like in his 20s.
he's I think 20 years old right now, if I heard correctly from the interwebs. He's 20 years old right now.
So then he was what, like
19. She was
He was like
14.
18 when
19, 14.
when she was. Then she ran off with him when
Yeah.
she was like 13.
Yeah, and then I saw that it's just I guess because this is all alleged at the moment. Again, at the time of this recording, people found that obviously suspicious or strange.
Yeah.
But then I guess another, like, his name, he's a streamer. I think his name is XQC.
Oh yeah. I heard of him.
He saw, or I guess he pointed out or popularized that David posted a music video on her birthday. I think he posted Romantic
Yeah, right.
Homicide on her
Like this,
birthday.
Yeah.
like this year?
Yeah, like it's called It's I don't know. I don't know if it was Romantic Homicide or if it was just a regular another song,
Yeah.
but that he posts on her birthday,
Mm-hmm.
and people were finding that a bit strange.
Yeah.
But
It is very strange. We're recording this obviously as it's happening. So by the time this episode comes out, who knows what's gonna be out? But at the time of this recording, David was on tour doing his regular thing, even with the body that was found in his car and everything. There were so many people in comment sections. I don't know if you guys saw this, defending David, saying that he basically has nothing to do with it, and that he's being framed or whatever. Or basically just a lot of his fans just basically being in denial. But yesterday, when it was identified that the body was Celeste, he canceled his show for the night, which is not looking good. And then that's where anywhere you go, you see a lot of suspicious evidence is what I would say.
I saw on the news they raided his house.
Oh, really?
Last Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, apparently he's being cooperative with the police.
I mean, at the moment, this is all alleged stuff.
Yeah.
This is all like so.
This is all alleged stuff, but I mean, I also don't think cooperation with police necessarily makes you innocent. I think I've seen enough true crime to know that's actually the opposite,
right.
because you're trying to disperse yourself as not innocent, as not suspicious.
Right.
So you're gonna cooperate because you think you're smarter than
Right.
technology, basically, but tech catches up to you. And there's some others. Yeah, I think what you just brought up about the music video, I keep hearing like eerie things, which makes me think like, do you think it's one of those things where it's accurate or
I mean, I don't know. It could just all look really bad, or it could point to something. You never know.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
because people were, because right now when I was looking at it, when you guys were talking about it, supposed to be a song leaked that is called like under her name. Like there's a song named Celeste.
It's crazy.
It's like I don't think he released it, but people leaked it currently. So.
I wonder how people who are famous think that they can get away with murder. Like I wonder how often they think that they can get away with stuff like this. I mean, obviously it's all alleged, so we don't know just yet. But did you hear TMZ interviewed Celeste's mother? And Celeste's mother didn't say point blank that it was David, the artist, that basically kidnapped her. But she said that when Celeste ran away, when she went missing, at the time she had a boyfriend named David.
Yeah.
This is real. You can look this
Yeah.
up. This is what she said.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, yeah, and I think that's another strange part considering her age.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Well,
because
'cause
she's
they-
14 and he's an adult.
Well,
He's an
because they were
adult.
saying that she met him when she was 13,
Mm-hmm.
and then assuming that was 3 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
so he was 18,
That's
and then when she ran away, she was 14 and he was 19.
Yeah. So 18, he was a fully legal adult. 13, little kid,
Yeah,
literally not even in high school.
yeah.
Um,
But I had heard that her body was in a bag
oh yeah, it's true.
She was
and that it was like decomposing.
she was dismembered. Is as well.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
really?
I had no idea.
know
Yeah, I
that.
didn't hear that part. They haven't, I guess, confirmed how long. I guess she's been deceased. But I found it interesting that using Twitter, a lot of his fans are pulling out like Discord receipts. Have you heard about this? And they're showing that it had been sort of an open secret that he was kind of a pedophile. Like I saw some of the screenshots. There's a screenshots where he had his own private Discord where there's people talking about Discord where there was like, bro, this is like the third time I got rejected from joining that Discord, and somebody replies to him. It's like, yeah, he only accepts underage girls. And then somebody replied, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, I don't know anybody who's been accepted that isn't a girl and isn't underage, and that's in his private Discord. And it was interesting because the person who posted the screenshots was saying that they had been trying to expose David as a pedophile for a couple years, at least 3 years now. But nobody listened. And then there is a lot of criticism from the other side of the internet being like, whoa, there's like so much evidence out there and discords and stuff of people knowing that he was basically a pedophile, and only now it came out when it already feels like, I guess it's kind of too late. But I don't think it's ever too late. But it feels like at least there's already been like a casualty of his insanity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's just bizarre.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Oh, they're saying like, oh, it's because somebody got hurt.
Yeah,
out of this?
only now that somebody got hurt, now people are taking it seriously. And it's like, but people had been trying to expose him. Did you see Kelly Uchis is getting like harassed? And people are saying that's wrong too. It's like some guy got exposed for being possibly a murderous pedophile, and the first thing you do is to harass
a woman,
an
unrelated woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
But
it because they have a song together?
I think they had just were about to release it, or
Yeah.
they just had, and she was like, "I'm taking it down, and we're not friends."
Yeah.
That's that.
What it's this comment section. I could probably pull it up. It's Pop Crave posted it. So it was like a big account. It was somebody had commented, being like, "You're not gonna say anything about like doing a song with a murderer or something." It was like, "You're not gonna say anything in response to your friend or something." They said friend specifically, and then Cali Uchis literally responded. And it's like, that man is not my friend, and I am actively working to making sure the song doesn't release or whatever. So yeah, it is weird that like, I guess like
all things considered.
Yeah, what random stray to Cali Uchis?
That's crazy.
Yeah, but that's how big he was. He's gonna have a collab with Cali Uchis. He's gonna be in the next Spider-Verse movie. Like, it just kind of, I guess, is mind blowing to think that somebody that seems to be quote unquote relevant, right now, would do something like that. That seems to be like at least in the early stages of his career.
Yeah.
Where he hasn't even fully reached his potential.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just weird.
I don't know. I think it's just really insane how these things happen.
People with power, people with money.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I just keep thinking of like how a lot of men, just in the industry, right, are always harmful to women, and they kind of, I mean, who knows what's gonna happen to him, but it feels like they kind of get away with these things, and their fans still support them.
Yeah,
you know, like I don't. This is a side thing, but I keep thinking about Chris Brown. And because he's on his tour right now, and I think just seeing, and you know,
it's
like
we've sold out and shit.
We've seen like
it's
the
crazy
stuff Chris Brown has done. I mean, he beat up Rihanna, right? Pictures were released of how horrific that was, right? And I don't know, just to see people still go to his concert and still listen to his music, and how huge he is, right? I mean, he didn't kill anybody, not that I know of. To this extent, to this extreme as like David, but he still has been abusive to women or has done horrific things to women that we know of, right? And I don't know. I'm just like, it's just insane to me that people still support them, like that they still are huge, right? Like Chris Brown is, and this guy was, you know, going up allegedly. You know, we don't know everything. But even then, like, besides all that, he was still dating somebody who was 13 years old. Like, and I don't know. I think that's just insane that people kind of let this slide.
Yeah, right. If somebody can hit a tune or make, I guess, a song that sounds good.
Because I don't know. Again, this is all alleged, right? But it's like in sort of in this, right? He was dating somebody who was really, really young, right? And she's gone, right? And like it could get to those extremes, right? Like that's something that you guys can see, that it's like these things can lead to these extremes, right? And I feel like, I don't know if it's being ignored, but it just feels like, yeah, like he's kind of getting away with it, in just a sense of like he was still able to do his concerts. I mean, he canceled one, but he was still able to do his tours and all these things. And I think that's why, to me, it just feels very like nothing is, like justice isn't really being served right now for women. At least that's how I see it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Because I guess when I imagined artists that took advantage of the young women fan base, I guess I weirdly enough imagined that to be like an old school thing, because at the time people weren't paying attention, and I weirdly enough thought, I guess, society had learned better, and therefore did pay attention. So I didn't think that something like this could be happening under your nose, where this kid literally ran off with this famous artist for at least more than a year. Some of the screenshots, like you said, are him on streaming, and she's like there in the background. You know, I thought like with everything we've seen with R. Kelly and stuff, like I guess I thought something like this wouldn't even be possible anymore. But I guess I was wrong, you know. And I go, like you said, it's all alleged, but at least just even that like makes me think. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just like, damn, insane. Because I had heard supposedly there was another body found, I think, in a car, or maybe it was the same one.
Really?
But I don't remember. But I remember when
in regards to David.
I think so.
Really?
Unless I'm confusing stories now, but I had heard, because I had heard when they had found the body in the car, and I don't know if it's the same one, and then the stories just came out differently, and then they kind of revealed whose car it was. But
yeah, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy. It's just crazy that I just think about people with power and money too, like can literally get away with anything in this country if you have enough influence.
Yeah,
it's just wild, bro. But I guess moving on to the another topic that we had for this podcast. We thought it was really important to speak on this because it doesn't feel like it's getting the media attention that it's really deserves. But there was a lynching at a recent school, and I don't know the full details. So, Brandon, do you or Julie know the full
Trey
breakdown
Reed
of it?
at Mississippi University.
Yeah.
They found.
Say again. Sorry.
Trey Reed at Mississippi University. Wait, I might be getting the name of the school wrong, but it's in Mississippi. They found him unfortunately hanging from a tree, at his school, and so what the issue is, or what, obviously that's horrible, but I think what a lot of people are also calling to attention is that the police ruled it a suicide, but the family does not feel that is a
accurate conclusion.
Accurate conclusion. Just from what I've I mean the articles that I've seen reported, that the family feels that they immediately ruled it a suicide and didn't say they didn't call it a possible suicide. It was just, no, it's a suicide.
Yeah.
And I think there was also calls for them to look at camera footage to see if there's other people, and the police said no, that if it's a suicide, then we don't need to. But I think it was his cousin, Trey Reed's cousin, who brought up the fact that he's saying that Trey Reed's limbs were broken.
Yeah.
So his legs, and I don't remember if it was his arms.
I think they said legs and arms. Yeah.
They were broken.
Yeah.
So how does that even make sense?
Yeah, how do you even do that?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then I guess obviously there's also context, considering the
political
state of the country and the location. Mississippi has the most lynchings historically in the country. So I think there's a lot of context there too that they're refusing to acknowledge.
Yeah.
At least the police are, right? But you're right. I don't think it's getting enough media attention, because that's really concerning. I mean, it's always been concerning, but I don't know. 2025, you assume that this is something that's far, 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 far removed from us in history, but it's not.
And I guess I just wanted to bring it up because obviously we can condemn it all day, and rightfully so. Everybody listening knows that we think it's terrible, but it's also, I think, important to just continue to spread like awareness for it, because I think, like you said, you brought up obviously the political state of the United States right now. Feels like other stories are obviously taking precedent. No, not precedent. What's the word? Like priority. There you go. Priority over a story like this, and this feels like the most
Well, I think
reasonable story that needs.
You can't, like, stuff like this can't be ignored or even remotely ignored, because I think that gives or sets the precedent that, like, the country's going to tolerate this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's really dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been really dangerous, but I mean, historically, like, when people tolerate this kind of stuff, it continues.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I
Yeah,
think that's
exactly.
why there needs to be more awareness and more media pressure,
Yeah.
because, well, yeah.
No, yeah. I think it's also to show that, like, lynching still happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like people think that it's something that was way in the past, and it's like it's still currently happening now.
Or even
Mhm.
just violence towards the color of your skin
Yeah.
still
Mhm.
happens.
Like, it still is a thing that people think like, no, it doesn't happen anymore. It's not a possibility. Like, but it's like, no, like, there's still violence that happens to Black and brown communities. But also, I was gonna say, it was at Delta State University.
Delta State. Yeah.
Mhm.
Trey Reed was a 21-year-old student.
Yeah, it is interesting because if the family doesn't believe it, I feel like they have more of a say than any other person who did an investigation. No, especially if apparently they didn't even do an investigation. You know, I think if anybody had a sibling that you feel like wasn't at least teetering on suicidal ideation, you would know. You would know if something like that just felt wrong.
Well, I think even so, too, I think it's important for people to, like Julie said, understand that violence because of the color of your skin and a lot of other reasons still happen in the United States. You know what I mean? And it's a
Mhm.
huge problem in the United States
Yeah.
that I think people either ignore or try to tell you it's not happening or doesn't happen. You know, because there's violence against, like we said, the Black community, the brown community, women, indigenous communities, the trans community, the LGBTQ community. And there's a lot of people who will try to say, like, oh, that doesn't happen. Like, that's not real. Or if it did happen, it's so far removed from us that it's counterproductive to bring it up because it happens
Yeah.
so far in the past.
Yeah.
But that's not true. It happens regularly.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And that's why I think people are stressing the importance of bringing as much awareness and media coverage
Yeah.
over this,
Mhm.
because you can't tolerate that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you can't let that be a precedent in the United
Yeah.
States, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah. Because I also think one of the, like, currently, especially with Trey Reed, what's happening is a lot of like, Black people are saying, like, oh, Black people don't hang themselves from trees.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important to understand
Yeah.
that, like, somebody wouldn't do that. Like, I think there's a historical context
Yeah.
between, you know, Black people and, like, I guess you could say in this like, trees, right? And I think that's, like, an important thing to say, because it's like, that doesn't make sense that somebody would do that to themselves,
Yeah.
right? To that extent, right? And because them ruling it a suicide is, like, clearly it's not. Like, clearly we all know what it means, but we're trying to, I guess, sort of, what's the word, like, hide it, like, shield it, like, oh, it's not really that, it's actually, like, he killed himself, like, kind of thing. But it's like, no, like, somebody did this to him, somebody inflicted this violence towards him, and this is what is still happening to the community. Because it also reminds me of, like, they kind of want to, like, sort of erase it, like, say, like, no, like how we said, like how we're saying, like, oh, this doesn't happen anymore, like, lynching is something from the past, like, but it's like, no, it's currently happening. And it reminds me of how, you know, Trump is trying to remove all the, like all the information around slavery in different, like, national parks, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's that continuation of being like, no, like, this doesn't, like, kind of shielding or, like, putting it away and being like, no, this isn't happening to the community. Nothing, like,
Yeah.
everything is fine.
Well,
Mhm.
I think, too, there's also, I forgot to mention, there's also a historical context of lynchings being ruled suicides.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just mind boggles me considering the historical context or just the context in general.
Yeah.
Of it being Mississippi, it being a man hanging from a tree, a black man hanging from a tree,
Yeah.
the police not really cooperating. Like, you know, it
Yeah.
seems like such a, I don't know, like such an easy path to follow to conclude that, like, okay, he was killed for the color of his skin or he was lynched. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like it's all just very clear as to what it actually is. Yeah.
I think it's just an unfortunate illustration of how the United States as a country or how many people in the country view a black life or a POC life as like, whatever. You know what I mean? And that's unfortunate because I think that's something that I think is, I don't know. I mean, I guess I maybe I haven't brought it up or I haven't heard it in general brought up in a while. But that was, I think, one of the strongest, like, or something that I found very powerful when Black Lives Matter first rolled around, or that I think a lot of people miss about that movement or that saying, period, is black lives are not valued as much as a white life. You know what I mean? Or just, and that goes for a lot of minorities.
Yeah.
You know, and this is a case. This is exactly like a proven point of how that happens.
Yeah.
You know, of the police just kind of hand waving, and a lot of people just kind of hand waving and saying, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Probably because there's something that they're trying to avoid. I don't know if the police know something or if they're scared. I don't know.
Or maybe even just point blank, just easy, simple just prejudice and racism.
Yeah. But
yeah, I guess the only thing I have to say is just my empathy goes out to his family and anybody else who's affected by immediately or even not immediately, even not even so directly, but indirectly by this, because I think stuff like this, of course, could make you feel afraid to even like go outside. So I think I hold a lot of empathy for both his family and then anybody else who's indirectly affected by any crimes of passion that happen like this. Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't really have anything more to really bring up on this podcast. Do you guys?
Not really, no.
No. Well, I think then that's a good way to end off on the podcast that we've been doing. Our empathy goes out to the family. Can you read his name one more time?
Trey Reed.
Shout out to Trey Reed's family. I hope you guys find some sort of peace or get justice. Yeah, you beat me to it, but yeah, justice. And I hope everybody else does too.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a bit of a difficult way to end the podcast because I know it's like
for sure,
it's like a tough topic. But I think I'm not gonna try to, like, I don't know, turn it into like a positive. But I think it's just important because I think that's why, I don't know, I don't know how to explain it, but like you said, I think. Because I think there's a lot of people who are directly affected and even indirectly affected. Because I think it's like a reminder that, you know, that's still an issue. That's still a fear, a real and valid fear to have, you know, for people. And I think that's what makes it so difficult or so alarming when, like, history is starting to get erased. Like, I think I sent it to you guys, what is it, yesterday, a couple days ago, about how Trump had, like, pictures of slaves.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
scars,
that's right.
Like,
and
from the
like
he's trying to get those like
erased,
removed and from museums and a bunch of other things from museums that detail the atrocities of slavery and discrimination and segregation. You know, I think that's why, because I think that's why it's so important to know history, to know American history, because I think when you know that, like how we're talking about, like the historical context, it becomes so clear and you see so many patterns. That's why I think it's really important to know history, because then I think you're able to understand these things a little bit more.
I think it also aids prevention, because I think if I think it's really easy to look back in the past, even beyond history, like just even in your life, and be like, okay, that was bad. Hope that never happens again. And I think if you don't have history, and especially with the administration that's trying to delete history, you get rid of prevention. You get rid of people obviously on seeing the full, bigger picture of where
the road leads.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So I think that's why it's also important in the sense of prevention. What do you say, Julie?
No, I don't know if you said it, but it's just like you see the patterns of like stuff of like we've seen this before and where it can lead, right? And how you said, like, it's just something to know of, like, we can prevent these things when we see them. The other thing that I was going to add, because I did see this, and I know we've talked about it on here, of like how difficult it is to see the news, and like even now, right, we talked about very heavy stuff. But I feel like it is important to still talk about them, even if it's like, I guess I get it's hard. And again, like, mental health is very important. But I think I saw this thing that said, if you ever feel heavy because you care deeply about injustice, suffering, and ecological destruction, remember that there's $1 trillion propaganda machine that was built to make you numb, and it didn't work on you. So,
Wow.
Yeah. So
Really well said, Julie.
so
That's perfect.
like I said, I know, I mean, on the show, it's happened a lot where, I mean, I've shown here my tears. But I think, I think the more we talk about it, I think it is very important to just showcase, the stories that not a lot of people can speak out on. And, we got to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly, Julie.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that's a good place to end off for us. Really hope everybody enjoyed the conversation we had today. We really appreciate everybody who tuned in.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of our patrons. Thank you so much for supporting us. If anybody out there ever wants to join the Patreon, our link is always in the description. So shout out to Yoel, Eli Quintero, Steven Carvajal, Altadino Rebuild, and En La Hora. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Again, thank you to everybody who tuned in, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.